Hello again there folks, TaterCat here. Last time we found all the tongues. Yay. Newspaper on the ground. What was this one again? Was this the same thing? I think this is just the usual thing talking about the principal. Yeah. Yeah, we don't. We read that before. Anyway. I think we have... right, okay, we won't go that way, blah blah blah. I know. We have the little girl who's missing an eye, and... I think it's another little girl who's missing the top half of her head. Where was she? She was the... Yuki was over here, I think. Wasn't she? Like up here? That's where I ran into her before. Hey, dead body. There you are. Gasp. Which one do we give it to? What do you mean, which one do we give it to? Yeah, give it back, give it back. Gurgle. Gasp. This girl's missing an eye, and the other one's missing most of her head. Oh, we've got our tongues. Is that going to be enough? What do we do now? Pull out the tongue bags? Yes. Crying noises. The girls lower their heads, or what's left of it in one case, and begin rocking slowly back and forth as if feeling anxious. Yuki-kano Toki to Tsuji. Gasp. These are for you. They're yours, aren't they? Handed over the 2 bags. Dots. How? Thank you very much. And they're gone. We did it. We did it, Shinozaki, all 3 of them. You were saying all that what is left is the girl with the red dress. No, no more! Every time I talk to these ghosts, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to death myself. Do you have any idea what that's like? I keep picturing how I'll look when I'm dead, and I'm not even trying. Girl, you're not the only one who's thinking they're gonna frickin' die here. God. It just pops into my head all on its own, and it's such a horrible image. I want to go home. I just want to go home. Back to my mom and my sister. You think you're the only person who wants to go home? Shut up. And Mochida. Yeah, 'cause, you know, I'm totally not here. Alright, next one is mine then, okay? Just try to put yourself together. What? Rumble, rumble. God damn it, not again! Yeah, the spaces are collapsing. This one's big, too! Eek. I'm not hearing any. Whoa. Oh, hi. You're back, I see. Was I knocked out? Where am I? Oh shit! Dots. Gasp. Is this our classroom? No fooling! Hello? No, I can't look at the windows. Can't. Guess there's no Satoshi Masuie or anyone else, huh? Hello, cabinet. Shelf is filled with personal effects belonging to Class 2-9 primary and assistant homeroom teachers. Can't look out the windows. Hey, wake up! Dots. She's breathing at least. Shinozaki, come on, wake up already! But she just went, huh? Take a look around you. I could barely believe it myself, but here we are. No way. We're back? For real? Is this really our school? It's really real. Check it out. Here's my desk. Mine too. It's right here. I can't believe it. It's true. Yatta. Yeah, we made it. We're home. We're home. Calm the fuck down. Fuck yeah, stuck on that world. Anxious laughter? Yay. No, still can't look out the windows? Nah? Alright. What you gotta say? I never thought I'd live to see home again. Yeah, I don't think any of us thought we would. Same thing I said to the podium. Guess there's no Satoshi Masuie or anyone else, huh? Hello? Venturing out in search of the others, you find that even the janitor has likely gone home. The lights are out, and the halls are pitch black. Only the red glow of the light next to the fire extinguisher offers any respite from the quaint, quiet darkness of the school hallway. Standing around in the darkened corridors of our school building at 8 in the evening just feels so surreal. It's a peaceful dark, not a scary dark. As the thunder and rain grow in intensity, the windows begin to condensate with moisture, turning white in contrast to the corridor's sea of black. Dots. Is this reality? Was everything up until now just a dream? You wish. Where am I right now? What am I doing? Eek. Shinozaki, what's wrong? Oh no, spooky. That's not good. The world's not supposed to be doing that. What's with all the arms? What the hell is this? I mean, the girl with the red dress was never appeased, so... It's not over, is it? Why isn't it over? Why? You know why. Damn it. It's you! It's the girl missing an eye. Dots. No! Go back! Don't come any closer! Screaming. It was a rainy evening after school, just like this one. On the day I was kidnapped. I remember I had a fight with my mom that morning. Why is she telling us this? I have no idea. I didn't want to see her face. So after school, I decided that instead of going home, I'd park myself in the outdoor walkway for a little and watch the rain. That's when Mr. Yoshikazu showed up. He sat down next to me. I told him all about my fight with Mom, and he listened really closely and just kept saying, uh-huh, uh-huh. He was sick and couldn't speak much, you see, but he was a very kind man. I really liked him. But then... Yeah, understandable why you're crying. You literally died. That's kind of some trauma a lot of people can't really relate to. You two are nice people. I'm so sorry. She's so tiny, she must be 5th grader. Yuki Kano, right? Is that a reference to the composer? Yuki Kano? Because Yuki Kano makes amazing music. If you didn't know, she's the one who at least wrote the music for, I know, Cowboy Bebop and Wolf's Rain, and Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. I know she's done more, I just can't think of any off the top of my head. Thank you for what you did back there.
For making the effort to help those of us who were killed in that school.
Didn't we succeed though? Why are you still here?
No, you didn't. But we returned your tongues. We gave you back your ability to speak out. And we even got your murderer to repent for what he did. Is it just that you can't forgive him no matter what?
Oh, here comes... We're gonna have a big reveal coming up.
Appeasing us isn't about forgiveness. It doesn't matter if we forgive or not. Repentance is between the criminal and the victim. It's the sole act capable of moving us. And we exist as fragments of the sacred ground upon which heavenly host is sealed. I believe that moving us is your best course of action. But it's not enough. His repentance just wasn't enough. So you're saying his words, the words spoken by the doll, wasn't good enough to appease you? That's not...
Dots.
Huh?
So, what then? Why do you feel the need to trap one innocent stranger after another in that godforsaken place? You child spirits are the one who summoned us there, aren't you?
That's not true.
The hell do you mean by that?
We're just the cogs that hold the closed spaces together.
But you killed Suzumoto, didn't you?
Wait!
Angry, huh?
Let's hear her out.
Dots.
I'm just glad I was able to get even the two of you back to safety.
Why the hell are you so suddenly concerned about us?
I heard about a situation like this from my sister once. A lost soul whose life ended violently and abruptly, leaving her with a mountain of worries and regrets. It's kind of like stopping short at the edge of madness. With all sorts of thoughts and feelings swirling around in your head. Your kindly nature and your sudden hatred and panic begin to spin round and round, and you just start acting without any sort of control.
Your sister some kind of medium or something?
Yeah, something like that.
All of Shinazaki's family are pretty, like, paranormally sensitive, or whatever you want to call it. So what you're saying is, this little girl and the creepy little girl we met are two sides of the same coin? I mean, yeah, it's the same child, just one was I guess an Onryo, which is just an evil spirit that curses literally anybody that comes in their path. And now she's just a ghost.
I feel for you. I really do. So please, please bring the rest of them back. Mochida, Miss Yui, and everyone else, too. Bring them all back home.
Dots. I think that might be beyond her power.
Come on, you can do it, right? I don't think that's possible anymore. Why not? Those closed spaces have eaten a lot of innocent souls. Far too many, in fact. The grudges of those who died there have filled every last corner of them. There's no room left. And because the agony and pain have nowhere else to go, it's begun feeding on the minds and souls like us who are bound there. It won't be long. Before I turn back into a vengeful spirit who attacks people like you without mercy.
Dots.
So we're going to lose you as an ally then?
Dots.
So why don't you just hurry up and bring them home right now? Isn't there any other way for us to save Mochida and the others? There is one way.
What is it?
I think you already know. You have to return to the closed spaces. Find all 4 of us Heavenly House serial kidnapping and murder victims. And put us all to rest. Then the closed spaces won't have their cogs anymore, so they'll begin to fall apart. And you just might get your friends back.
You expect us to go back? And this time, instead of just having one person left to appease, we have to go back to the drawing board and appease all 4 of you?
Why couldn't you tell us the reason for our previous efforts weren't good enough? What is there to hide? It's just... something I don't want to remember, but... If you really want to know, I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything that happened.
Yuki's spirit gently took hold of Ayumi's hand, and in an instant, their two beings seemed to merge together into a single mind. Ah, what's going on? Ah! It hurts, it hurts! Be aware, this next coming up part is very graphic.
Huh? What happened to me? Didn't I pass out? So why am I fully aware right now? I can't see a thing, and I can't move. It's like that feeling you get when you're really tired. Sleep paralysis, I think.
I don't think that's what sleep paralysis is.
Where?
There's the girl in the red dress.
Why can't I move?
犯行現場で唯一生き残った赤いワンピースの女児、篠崎幸子。
Sachiko Shinozaki, the little girl in the red dress, the only survivor of the horrific murders that occurred in Heavenly Host Elementary School. This is continuing on with Kibiki's report.
幸子の家族は事件後、怯えるように他県へ移っていったとされている。
Following the incident, Sachiko's family fled from the area, moving to another prefecture to escape the frightful memories that remained here.
驚いたことに、この篠崎家についての記述はこの事柄以外。
Strangely, however, I've been unable to locate any other records of the Shinozaki family.
当時の書類や文献のどこを見ても何を見ても見当たらない。
No matter where I look, the only information I can find about them comes from the newspaper reports on the Heavenly Host murders.
惨劇の舞台となった学校や現役校長の嫡男による凄惨な犯行。
Granted, when an elementary school becomes the stage of a grisly incident such as this, perpetrated by none other than the principal's own son,
そのスキャンダラスな背景の取材に目がくらみ。
it stands to reason that the scandal would serve as the primary focus for public interest, with all the other details fading into the background.
この小さな生存者の聴取がおろそかになったのではと予想したが、そうではなかった。
So of course, after learning that Sachiko was safe, further news of her whereabouts was largely ignored in favor of the media circus surrounding the school.
誰も幸子のその後をたどることができなかったのだ。
But there's more to it than that. People weren't just uninterested in learning of Sachiko's history or whereabouts. There was simply no data to be had. What could that mean? She just poofed. That's not sleep paralysis, Ayumi.
I can't move my body because of sleep paralysis, I guess. But I can clearly see the room I'm in now. There's one boy and two girls here aside from myself. I recognize them. They're the children who were killed in Heavenly Host during that incident. But they're still alive. Unfortunately, they're all bound hand and foot and just sprawled out on the floor. And so am I. That's the real reason I can't move.
Yeah, crying.
Someone please save me!
Gasp. How you doing, Yoshikazu?
No, stop, no! Please, no!
Her eyes. Yeah, blindfold her.
No, I can't see. Now I'm blindfolded. I can't see a thing that's happening to me. And since my hand and feet are tied up, I can't move the blindfold either. That just makes everything so much worse. I guess because I can't see, I begin to listen more intently.
Yeah, frightened sobbing.
The helpless cries of the other children echo off the walls of the cramped room. I'm so scared it feels like my head is going to explode. What are you doing to me? Why am I blindfolded? Untie me! Cut the ropes! I want to be able to use my hands and feet! Please!
I'm sure all the other kids would like to do that too.
Please! I kept begging and pleading, but all I heard in response was the man walking away from me.
In order, okay?
In order?
Yeah, this is why I chose to not try to, like, talk over the voice acting, because I ain't trying to replicate any of this.
I've never heard screaming like this before. It's pure, primal terror, cutting through the air like a perfect sine wave. It's the boy at the end. It feels like he's been screaming for an eternity. I think he's being killed right now. My God, what the hell is he doing to him? No one deserves this. Why isn't God allowing him to fall unconscious so he doesn't have to suffer?
Yeah, because unfortunately the world's not kind like that, you'd be amazed how much trauma the human body can handle before you actually pass out.
It's been at least half an hour now. Those inhuman screams of a young boy being ripped apart from the inside have finally come to a halt.
No! Without even a single moment of silence, the first of the girls in line the next to scream for her life, and the symphony goes on. I'm gonna have to put a flashing light thing.
God, I can't take this anymore. I'm losing my mind. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Is it still going on? Come on, just die already. Die already? God, what is wrong with me? You know what? I don't care. Just get it over with and leave me in peace.
Well, you have to remember, you're next in line.
Finally, after hearing the sound of a heavy object being dropped, the noises stopped, and the room grew quiet again. Those footsteps are getting closer. All my hair standing on end at this point.
Gross.
Everything below my stomach feels like it's been frozen, like I've suddenly been stricken with severe diarrhea. In order? God, why am I relieved by the silence? The kid next to me just died. Yup, which means it's my turn now. Ah!
Sure is.
Someone's got me by the hair. They're pulling my head up. And taking off my blindfold, which means I get to see the face of my killer.
The four missing children were found in a basement room at Heavenly Host Elementary School, unused and officially sealed since the building's construction. When authorities entered, they were greeted with an inhumanely horrific sight. Based upon the evidence at hand, the murder weapon was determined to be a pair of large sewing scissors found in the hands of the accused. Investigators suspect some hesitation on the man's part, however, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used. Nevertheless, he had clearly acted with extreme malicious intent.
とされていたが
The official cause of death for the 3 murdered children has been listed as loss of blood following the removal of the tongue.
実際にはもっとむごたらしい凶行が行われていた
But the actual state of affairs was not quite so clinical, or even so pleasant, if you can believe it.
以下は規制によりメディアで報道されていない殺害の手口である
The following details have been extrapolated from information previously unreleased to the public, or at least previously unreported by news
現
outlets.
場で惨劇を目撃した幸子の証言に基づいている
The details of the crime are based on the official police testimony of Sachiko Shinozaki herself.
手足を縛られ目隠しをされた被害者たちは一人ずつ距離を置いて泣かされ
Evidently, the victims were bound, blindfolded, and spaced out on the floor,
順番に殺されている
then killed, one by
一
one.
人はハサミで腹部をめった刺しにされた上に臓器を抜き取られショック死
One was repeatedly stabbed in the abdomen with aforementioned pair of scissors, then had many of his internal organs forcefully dug out.
臓器は地下室の土床に粗雑に埋められた
His discarded innards were found partially buried beneath the earthen floor of the basement room.
一人はハサミで数十回にもわたって頬を刺され口から上の顎部がちぎれ死亡
Another was stabbed in the head dozens upon dozens of times, to such an extent that all of the flesh and bone above her jawline was essentially minced away.
目隠しを剥ぎ取られ
So yeah, that's why that little girl has only half of a head.
With my blindfold removed,
私の目の前にさらされた光景は想像を絶していた
the sight that appeared before me was more horrific than anything I could have possibly imagined.
血まみれの大きなハサミを手に私を見下ろしていたのはさっきの大男ではなく
The person staring back at me, brandishing a blood-soaked pair of sewing scissors, wasn't the large man from earlier at all.
捕らえられていた子供たちの一人
It was one of the children.
帰り地で顔が真っ赤に染まった小さな女の子だった
Dun dun dun!
It was a little girl, her face dyed red with the blood of her victims.
正気のない灰色の目でじっと私の目を見据え
She was
で彼女は
She was staring intently at me with soulless gray eyes, and then
ケタケタと笑い出した
she just started giggling. Snippity snap.
Maniacal giggle?
不快な音を立てせわしなく開閉を繰り返す
She was opening and closing the bloodied scissors over and over again, and the sound kept echoing throughout the room.
その錆びてボロボロになった血まみれの切っ先は
Then she took those dull, rusty, thoroughly blood-soaked blades.
私の目に向けられた
And slowly brought them closer and closer to my left eye.
なんでどうしてあなたが
How? Why? Why is it you?
Yeah, maniacal giggling.
いや
No!
Screaming.
一人はハサミで眼球を何度も刺された上に
The third victim was stabbed in the left eye an indeterminate number of
スー
times.
プのように潰れた目玉をえぐり出され 苦しみ抜いた末に出血死に至る。
Until her eyeball became soup-like in consistency. She was eventually just left like that, slowly bleeding to death in horrible agony. How does an eyeball become soup-like? Eyeball soup. That was always a line that was weird to me, with soup-like consistency.
その後、なぜか犯人は3人の遺体から舌をハサミで切断している。
Strangely, it was only after these mutilations had already been inflicted that the killer went back and severed the victim's tongues.
執筆している私も胸の悪くなる。まさに悪魔の所業である。
Learning the truth about the proceedings is shocking even to me, and makes it nearly impossible to accept the murderer as anything but a monster.
児童3人が惨殺される中、唯一生き残った少女、幸子。 保護された後、
And bearing witness to every moment of this was a 7-year-old girl named Sachiko. In many ways, she's as most pitiable and long-suffering of them all.
泣きじゃくる彼女の証言から追及が進み、吉和は送検された。
But it was through her tearful, frightened testimony that Yoshikazu Yanagihori was officially
言
charged.
い換えるなら、彼を犯人確定に追い込んだ張本人である。彼女には
Now, going back to the hunt for information on this unfortunate girl's whereabouts, it was her words that ultimately led to Yoshikazu's sentencing. Yes, you just said
自宅
that.
の所在も家族構成も一切の記録が残っていない。
Therefore, it comes to no real surprise that sensitive information pertaining to her and her family would be withheld. That's to be expected.
というより、はっきり言えば、存在していた痕跡が全くないのだ。
What's not expected, however, is that there's not even the slightest trace of this information left to find. It's as if it simply never existed.
ここからは仮説になる。果たしてこれは本当に
Therefore, I cannot help but consider alternate explanations, and I remind you, this is mere conjecture.
吉和の犯行なのか。
But one question keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Was Yoshikazu Yanagihori really the murderer of the 3 victims?
児童たちを殺害したのは本当に吉和なのか。
Is it possible this crime was not actually perpetrated by him at all?
後期の吉和は言葉による他人とのコンタクトは不自由だったとはいえ。
Think about it. In his final days, Yoshikazu was incapable of communicating with others through speech.
基本的にはおとなしく他人に危害を加えるような性質ではなかった。
And despite his childlike reversion, he had always been personable and friendly man. As saying goes, he wouldn't hurt a
こ
fly.
れは彼を取り巻いていた親戚や付近住民の証言も聞くことができたので確実だ。
All of his relatives, friends, and neighbors confirmed as such, shocked to hear that such a kindly man could commit these unconscionable atrocities.
突然このような強行に走る道理がないのである。
He certainly had no motive for the crime either. There was nothing for him to gain from it.
一方、それまで健康であった吉和の父親。
Then again, he may have simply lost his mind. Look at his father.
柳堀校長が突然奇怪な言動や行動を取り始めたのもこの時期だ。
It was around this same time that Principal Takahime Yanagihori suddenly began speaking in tongues and acting in a most peculiar way.
何かに取りつかれたように屋敷の壁一面に意味不明の漢字の羅列を書き殴ったり。
Not to mention scribbling incomprehensible gibberish all over his walls, as if possessed.
何者かに怯えるように部屋の隅にこもり大声でわめいたり暴れたり。
He seemed frightened of someone and would often be found crouching in the corner of his office, moaning and thrashing when visitors came by.
こちらも相当な事態になっていた。
If he could wind up in such a belligerent state with no warning, then perhaps so too could his son.
そこに私は人知を超えた力の動き、巨大なる呪詛の側面を見ている。
I believe we're looking at a curse far more powerful than any man could devise.
開校当初より閉鎖されていた
from the time it opened its doors to the day it closed them forever.
天神小学校の地下室に関する何か大きな呪いの存在。
Heavenly Host Elementary School's sealed basement room has existed as some form of cursed ground.
この連続児童誘拐殺害事件より
To find the underlying cause, we must go back beyond the infamous kidnapping and murder incident.
さらに遡ること20年。
Back a whole 20 years.
おぼろげながら真相を知る手がかりを私は見つけたように思える。
I believe I may have found a clue that sheds some light on the situation. It may be a bit far-fetched as leads go, but it's a lead nonetheless.
廃校になった後、取り壊されて別の学校が建っている現在では
Regrettably, since Heavenly Host was not only closed down but demolished altogether, and another school built in its place,
失われた天神小学校の地下室を調べることは不可能だが
it's no longer possible to investigate the basement room directly.
私の助手が興味深い方法を見つけてきてくれた。
But my protege has found what may be the next best thing.
不可能が可能となるかもしれない。これよりその準備に出かける。
Something that could make the impossible possible once more. Preparations are being made to pursue this lead even now.
詳しくは次回の連載にてお伝えしたいと思う。楽しみにお待ちいただきたい。
Be sure not to miss the next installment. It may be the scoop of a lifetime. Kokibiki, 2003-722. And to Chapter 4. Continue to Chapter 5.
Chapter 5 has been unlocked. Extra 4 has been unlocked.
Yep, that's the big reveal. Dun dun dun, it wasn't Yoshikazu, it was Sachiko the whole time. She is evil. I got an achievement for finishing Chapter 4. That was a long one, but very important information. I'll make sure to put a flashing lights warning before all of that. But yeah, like, subscribe, and all that noise. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Later.